John, you're in charge of Instagram. We are live. Hi, welcome to Follow Everton. I forgot how quickly these things come on. Guys, a huge 3 points. Initial reaction, please.
Yeah, amazing. It's great to finally see that we're actually on top of the opposition. It was, I think, a well put together game. Shame we didn't actually score more, but very valuable 3 points, and look forward to the next few games coming up.
So West didn't have a sniff the whole match. Did you see that one coming?
Yeah, I thought we controlled the game rather well.
Is David not listening?
Yeah, I thought we controlled the game quite well. Obviously, unlucky with King coming on straight away and hitting the post. Shame we didn't actually score another one there. But I thought individual players shone through as well. Richarlison played well, unlucky not to get a goal. Alan played very well, just kept us solid. But yeah, overall great performance, and look forward to the next few games coming up.
Basil, you look like you've had 10 years taken off you with the shave, or is it the Everton win?
Yeah, it's the Everton win. I mean, you look, we've had performances like this, haven't we, this season? These ups, and it's really pleasing to get that win today. A really crucial win at this point in the season, and it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you get the win, which is what we did tonight. I'm really pleased for the 3 points, and it looks promising, the table now. But I'm not going to get too caught in a high because things could crash down on Thursday. So Thursday's another increasingly vital performance, and we win that, the season's recovered. So
Liverpool fans think we've done them a big favour here in the race for the top four, but I think that is Chelsea's. I can't see anyone getting Chelsea. No, I don't think anyone's. Chelsea just look so solid, and I think we haven't done them a favour. We've done ourselves a favour because we are trying to catch West Ham. We had to win. We couldn't have afforded to drop points there, and that is a massive 3 points because you look at the fixtures now coming up. I see Villa, I see Wolves, and I see Sheffield United. You'd expect us to get 7 points because the Villa games away from home. Yeah, and because we are playing Sheffield United, no disrespect, but they've been terrible all season. Are we in with a chance now? Is it? Have we got to win all the remaining games, or
top four is done?
A long shot.
Top four. I would agree. But
I didn't ask about top four. I'm asking top
five is of course. Top five even. Top five is very much on. Top four, as you said, is pretty much solid off. But absolutely, we've got a game in hand on West Ham, and if we win that, then we'll go level on points with them, all to play for. We've got decent fixtures coming up, except City. But again, by then they would have already won the league, unless things have a dramatic change. But I don't see why we can't push, and 5 can easily be ours, especially if we've beaten the likes of West Ham, who are clearly the people, what everyone is saying are going to get top 5. So if we can beat them and put on a show, they didn't look that convincing. So no reason why we can't go for top 5.
I think we need to win the 3 matches. I think that's imperative because you look at the fixture list of what we've got to play, and three relatively comfortable fixtures. I don't know, Villa's just beaten us, but it's away from home. And the likes of Chelsea, they've had their difficult fixtures. I think Spurs have got to play Leicester. So there's still a few difficult. Man U are playing Liverpool, so Thursday's crucial. If we win that game and Liverpool lose against Man U, then we're joint on points with West Ham. It's just a goal difference. So
if we forget the City game for a while, because obviously it'd be great to get a result from that, but that's not really where our main focus should be. Our main focus is to beat Villa, and then we should beat Wolves, who have been a bit off it this season, and obviously already relegated Sheffield. Obviously a few seasons ago we lost to Fulham, and they'd already been relegated. So let's not have the same mistake there. If we get
the problem is we're crap at home.
Yeah, we are. However, Villa is away though, so hopefully that will brighten us up a bit. But if we can get 7 to 9 points there, those are valuable points. Obviously, other teams hopefully will drop points. The fixtures aren't easy for other teams. Obviously, you just mentioned about Liverpool United, and hopefully United will win that. And it can put us right in the mix for things. So it does still look promising. It's just a shame that we haven't been more consistent throughout the rest of the season, as then we could have definitely been pushing top 4. But you know what? It's a great start for Ancelotti.
It's really weird, isn't it? Because you look at the performance today, and it just so many times this season it just hasn't worked. But today you see a shift being put in by every single one of those players on the team. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen when we play at home. It's almost like an expectation that we're going to come on the park, pass it through, and get a goal, but then we get caught out with an imbalance. You know, we need to replicate the away system.
You can see the energy and the passion in the players. I mean, Allen was constantly running forward and back, played a vital role for both attacking and defending. Davies pretty much went into every single challenge, was sprinting around. I think he played very, very well. Yeah, there you go from Alex. Tom Davies was magnificent today. Not often I say that. He really put in a shift and did very well.
We didn't miss Decore. You would have thought that before the game.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and also without Hummers there, we still look good going forward. We had pace, which is something which we don't often play with, and the creativity. It wasn't about turning around and going backwards. Obviously, Holgate's mistake cost us in the last game, but there wasn't any of that. We were going forward. We were moving forward with pace, excitement, speed. It was just good to watch. Shut them out. Didn't really give them many opportunities. Just a shame we didn't finish more.
We offer a threat, don't we, in terms of Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison's direct running, their physicality, and it's not something we use. And I think we see today some examples where they get the ball and they make the wrong decisions, but I think it's something they should work on a bit more, because them running in behind and playing the ball at the right time, we could get lots of opportunities on the counter-attack, which we sort of fail to convert at the moment, but it's promising.
When Calvert-Lewin was off to score his goal, I wasn't sure if he was going to finish it or not, because I've also seen, although Calvert-Lewin has had a good season, there are chances where, like, if you look at his goals, he should still be scoring other chances that he's missed. And I wasn't 100% convinced he was going to score it. And again, arguably the keeper could have done slightly better, but it was a good movement. It was a good solid finish. We did well to get that goal. Again, King was very unlucky, where he hit the post. But again, I would argue we need to be bringing him on earlier, utilising his skill, because he comes on with less than 10 minutes to go. And they said on the telly earlier that I think he's played in 11 games now for Everton, hasn't started one of them, come on as a sub every time. And I think he's someone that we should be utilising more. He obviously came on, had an instant impact. But if he was on for longer, he might have gone on to score as well. But overall, very good performance. A lot more positive this week than last week.
Okay. I mean, really good reaction, really good analysis. What I would say is, just very briefly going back to the 4 games, we need 9 points from them. And I think today we got the win we needed to get. I think when we've seen Everton this season win games, it's not been through, brilliant football. Apart from maybe the first 7 fixtures, I think it's always been let's grinding out a win, a 1-0, a little bit of luck. I don't think we needed luck today, actually. We were convincingly the better team. I just think when we've been good this season, it's been through grinding out a result. And against these teams that want to try and battle us, we've overcome it. And we've done it again today. And
the only issue is that we've also fallen short, especially at home, to the likes of like lower down teams that we should be beating, and that can allow us to push. We've had some excellent results this season, and it's been enjoyable to watch certain games. But it's just a shame we can't string. We have trouble stringing good sets of results together.
John, the problem is you are right, John, but the issue that you've got is the style of play that we've done today, which is kind of going away from home, trying to nick a goal, sit back and try and counter attack. And Pickford didn't have to do anything. So that sums it up, really. That doesn't work at home against teams that are coming to Goodison Park, maybe to sit in and counter us. And I think Ancelotti touched on it in his pre-match or some media stuff he did, where he said that he wants a style of play to improve next season, and he's going to look at addressing that with new players. So he knows that the style of play at the moment is pretty tepid. It's not very engaging. We're not good when it comes to playing football. But as I say, when we've won these games, it's because we've battled teams. So I think, John, you are right, but we need to find that evolution next season of still being able to do this away from home in certain games, but also these games you're talking about slipping up, finding a way to be more dynamic Because I think it has been due to a lack of balance between how many attackers are on the pitch and how many defenders we have, and we haven't found that yet, have we?
Yeah, I agree. But again, Ancelotti's not here for the short stay. He's here for the long term, which is great to see, and it brings a lot of confidence going forward. Obviously, we'll have this the transfer window to sign some good players. Obviously, we've got a few which we've discussed in the past that if we get would be incredible for us. And hopefully we can go a long way looking forward. But I think this season again we've shown those styles and those certain performances, which has really been impressive to watch. So we just need to bring those forward into the next season while covering where we've slipped up and weaknesses in the past. But again, today I think it was definitely our game to lose. Once you could see we started playing, and I don't think West was ever going to pull a result out of that. Maybe a draw if we slipped up, but it was very much our game to control.
Okay. I want to go through some of the key things in the game, and I want to just talk about the initial setup as well. 5 at the back, when you saw that, what were you thinking?
Thank you. Finally. I've said it a few times, haven't I? The last few weeks I've been saying we have to play 5 at the back, and it's not something I loved at the start of the season, but I just feel like we have no wingers, just nothing on wide areas. So to play Coleman and Dean, they're our best wide options. Let them have a bit more freedom to get up the pitch and have 3 defenders solid behind them. So I was pretty happy with that.
Do you think it's because he doesn't trust Iwobi, Bernard, his wide options? Do you think he's given up on them? Do you think it's a fitness issue with them, or do you think it is he just prefers the full backs in the wing back position? And moreover, do you think that brings a little bit more solidity to the team, John?
I think it brings in more pace, if anything, allows us width to get into certain positions that we wouldn't usually be able to make the most of an advantage. I was interested to see the 5 at the back, but I was also kind of happy to see Iwobi not starting. I was interested to see Davies back in the team because, again, especially against West Ham when we need that kind of energy, because they have the likes of like Lingard and other top players that could easily get past us. But just to have that energy and pace in the team, I think really helped us. And again, to have people like Coleman in the team next to other players such as Godfrey, I think that works so well because Coleman, very knowledgeable player. He knows football well. And if he can pass it on to the likes of Godfrey or Davies, that would really help us. But I think we just look very solid.
We took the suspect players out, the ones who just don't always put in a shift or don't turn up. Gomez came out, got rid of Holgate, he's inconsistent, got Iwobi out. So, we just played the players that we know what we're going to get from them.
And told them to do a basic job,
Yeah, I think the team we played today is bar 1 or 2, like our strongest team. And we should, obviously injuries aren't great, but as in if we were to play this team, I think a solid performance. It just has a nice shape, a good balance, as you said, going forward and back, good pace. We've made the most out of it.
We might have our strongest team back on Thursday for the first time since the first 4 games.
You know what? I think it's very much to do with mentality and effort today. It came down to they actually put a shift in. The starting lineup, I actually like the Keenan Mina. I think that's the best centre-half partnership we've got in terms of defending. But it's very restrictive on how we play. I think that meant we did have to sit deep.
Did you not think that something we touched on, especially when we played against Liverpool, he employed a bit of a 4-4-2, especially in the second half, where Coleman was playing right mid with Godfrey behind until Holgate came on. So it was actually more of an adaptable formation rather than because
always was, but we knew that the whole time.
Keane can't play in the back 3, so it has to adapt to that back 4 when we defend.
It's a flexible system. It was very similar to how we've played at Liverpool in many of the games where.
I think the Coleman thing, he was playing very narrow. With often Godfrey was the widest of our defenders. Coleman was instructed to go inside because West Ham pack out the central areas of the pitch, and it just worked a treat. We just didn't allow them any opportunities to get inside to pick out passes.
He was outstanding today, I've got to say.
How old is Coleman now? About 32?
33.
Because he's put in a shift as well. He always knows where to be. He's always on it. He's got legs on him as well for someone of his age, and he's outpacing a lot of people still. He made a terrific run.
He was brilliant. Again, he was arguably my man of the match.
He put in an absolute shift, and it's players like this that we need in the team. And again, Davies, that even if they're not, again, Davies has had a lot of criticism, but whenever he plays, he always puts in 100% of a shift. And we need players like that, because when we come up against teams and people are like lounging around the pitch and not actually putting in effort and commitment, it's where we struggle. But Coleman has been very on it, and so is the whole team today. Was very well worked.
Okay, much so we agree that we were happy with the 5 at the back for different reasons, and we've touched on how that it wasn't really a 5 at the back. At times it was a 4, at times it even became a 6. It was quite cleverly done by Ancelotti, and it was very, very effective. I just think with the formation, obviously, when you look at that, you do see a lack of wide combination because there's no wingers and there's no natural 10 who's capable really of drifting out to that side.
I think you're looking at the second half, aren't you? Where we pretty much sat off, and I don't know whether you like that, because personally, 35 minutes on the clock, I was a bit worried that they would get a little bit of luck like they did at Goodison and managed to get a goal back. So
no, I wasn't. I'm thinking about the whole game
because we were defending for 65 minutes.
We created quite a few chances, in fairness, and I think a lot of the time it was through making bad decisions in the final third when we should have played the pass earlier or at the right time. The only time, ironically, we played the perfect pass was for the goal. The timing was great and the weight was great. I felt a lot of the time on the counter-attack, we make the wrong decision. We pass the wrong player, or we don't pass, and then he checks back. And we were always like one player too short on the counter-attack. Like, we needed that extra man. I thought that's why I would have brought Decore on. Just, he's that third man coming in.
On that point, I would argue that a lot of the time we were left and it was just Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin on their own just running forward, and I feel like we lacked another player up there for options, and that's why maybe we didn't score again, because we were just struggle going forward. But when we broke away, it was neat, and it was building. I think we were building up too far from the back, which left us very short up front, and our possession again was very low compared to theirs. We had 30% and they had 60. Sorry, 70. But again, they didn't have a shot on target. So we played well and we held them well. It's just, again, I feel like we're a bit short going forward. But again, if we had someone like James Rodriguez on the pitch, could have sent the ball forward and met that, or to bring King on and have another option going forward. But overall, again, I think the performance was very strong.
What I would say is James, yeah, you're right, John. He would have made a big difference there on the tip, just because I think that Sigurdsson didn't get involved. He didn't get forward and join the counter attack. I think we did miss the third man coming forward. And I think on Thursday he will bring Decore in, and I think he'll bring. I don't know. He might stick with the same team, but I think it's hard to leave Decore and James on the bench if they're fit.
He will rotate the team. He always rotates the team, especially playing 3 days after.
I would switch Sigurdsson for Rodriguez, and I would actually leave Davies and Allen, because I think they both played very well today. And depending on how things go, I would bring Decore on for one of those, whoever's having. Like,
John, you can't not play Decore. You can't not play Decore if he's fully fit. He's brilliant.
Allen and Davies had Decore might come back in and not be ready for the he might not have the appetite or the strength that these two have had, and I would bring him on as a sub during the game.
Okay.
I'm not sure that would work with that system. I mean, it has to be thought through. But James isn't going to drop to the left and defend with Dean the whole game, like in the second half, like Sigurdsson did.
Yeah, fair point.
But
he did defend well. Sigurdsson is just you're talking about when we're getting the ball or on the counter attack. Every attack it's bad decision making. We're not Richarlison, as good as he was today. He doesn't release the ball quick enough, or he doesn't get his head up and see where the pass is, and often he checks back and it's broken down. I think we need that third man. That's why I want Decore in there, because he comes from deep, or maybe another attacker. George has just come in. Hi, George. He says it's probably the best that our next game is another away one, another stronger performance. Hopefully we can do the same on Thursday, but still it's the home games that are the worry. And yeah, Villa away Thursday. Come on. George, I mean, let us know, George. Would you change the team? Would you stick with the same team? Or would you bring in some of the returning players? I'm thinking notably Decore. Is it time to give Andre Gomez another go? Just in terms of this game, it is crazy, the Jekyll and Hyde, the way we are away from home. Do you think there was a lot of pressure on West Ham today? Do you think they felt that pressure and they buckled? Because I was very disappointed. I mean, I'm not a neutral at all, but if I was a neutral, I'd be. You could tell from what Sky Sports they were willing West Ham on. They were not getting anything from them. Do you think that was Everton, or do you think that was West Ham?
Well, I was wondering this myself, and maybe John will come in a sec, but Sky were bigging West Ham up for the top 4, and it took the pressure off us a little bit, and I think that's what we wanted, really. They didn't create anything. John,
I think it's a bit of both. I feel like if you've watched West Ham in the past, they've seemed to be a team with two halves, and one half they'll play like Barcelona, and then the other half they'll play like any other, like Sheffield United or any other team like that. I think they were somewhat lacking today. They didn't have the same style or play that they've had in the past, which has allowed them to score so many and work with pace. I think they were lacking the pace as well, and we held them very well. So I wouldn't say it's completely them flopping, and I wouldn't say it was completely us dominating, but I would definitely argue there was a bit of both.
I think got a big squad full of a lot of similar players, haven't they?
Yeah, and especially as you come to the end of the season when the pressure is on. I said this from about halfway through the season, even earlier, and I said that the West Ham Everton game is going to be one of the biggest games for both teams because it's just so crucial for points. And I think maybe that's where they flopped as well, and Everton have switched on a gear and played very well.
We got the tactics right, I personally think, but if I was a West Ham fan, I'd be thinking, I mean, it's the typical sort of Everton at home performance where you've got a chance to keep going up the table.
Moyes is doing a Moyes.
And it just kind of falls apart, and that's what it felt like to me watching from an Everton point of view.
I think also, if you talk about George's comment where he says it's best that our next game is an away one, again, yeah, Villa are pretty much out of it, but we still need those important points. And then we've got Sheffield at home, which, again, it's a relegated team, and we should be winning comfortably anyway. And then next home game is Wolves, but don't we have fans back by then? So hopefully that should be a big boost,
really good point,
even to our home one. And then we've got City away, which again they'll have fans for, but City fans are a bit. Anyway,
I think we could sneak into the top 6. I think if we play like we did today and put that maximum effort in every game, you will need to use the whole team. I think top 5 will. I'm sorry to say, I think Liverpool will finish 5th. I watched them last night. I thought Southampton were unlucky. They should have got the equaliser. They were gifted chances, but I just think now they'll just show a little bit of consistency, because I'm worried about also maybe Leicester, the drop in points. I think Spurs are very flaky. I think we can get 6th place. I would take that in a heartbeat right now. Bear in mind what we've witnessed, a really poor team at home all season pretty much, and a side that struggled since arguably January. So yeah, you take 6th. I think we need to be going into that Man City game maybe only needing a point. I think if we go into the Man City game needing 3 points, we're going to be in a bit of a mess. Even though they'll have had the league wrapped up and they might not have that ambition, and they owe us one as well. They owe us a win. George has actually said he'll keep the same team apart from Decore for Davis. He wants Decore back in there, and injury with me. Does anyone know what's gone on with Mina? I didn't see that. I nipped out for a glass of water, so didn't see that. Came back and Holgate had come on and a kind of down the head going, "Oh no, what's gone on here?" Not him. But in fairness, he was solid as a right back. He wants a back 4. George, why do you want a back 4? And where was Mina? Go on, can someone explain what happened?
Mina got injured. Do you know it was when West Ham had their pretty much one and only opportunity in the second half? They got a bit of an overload on our right hand side. Dean was stretched in with Keane, and the shot come off the post. Mina stretches for the ball as it rebounds, and I think Kufal or one of them, Bowen, he hits it and it lands in Pickford's arms. Have I cut out here? Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
So Mina, he stretched, and it was some. I don't know if it was his thigh or something, but he seemed to intimate that it was like something he knew. He knew what it was, and he's injury prone, isn't he? So
yeah, no, it's so frustrating. I think he wants another centre half, doesn't he? In the summer, good win and finally a good attitude. Crying out for a full back and 2 wingers with pace. Martin spot on. I think that's where the investment's needed. A right back and a couple of wingers probably. It seems to me that he'll take anyone in any position in the summer who fits the bill, whether that's a centre back, central midfield, on the flank, at right back. I think he'll invest even up front. I think Josh King is an interesting one because every time he's come on, he's almost scored. I think he's nearly done something, but he looked knackered after about 2 minutes, jogging back like Calvert-Lewin, and just thought, you haven't played. This is your chance to have a go and do something, and you're at walking pace. It was like me playing.
He did have a chance, and he did hit the post. And arguably, it was very unlucky. Yeah, it was very unlucky. But again, yeah, you're right. He should be sprinting around, especially because he's been on for such a short time. But maybe the reason why he has been always very close is because we only utilize him for like the last 5-10 minutes, or even to waste clock on the subs.
Start him against Sheffield United.
See how he does. I think that's a great opportunity, especially against a relegated side, someone that we should comfortably be winning. You may as well give him a run out, see what happens.
I wouldn't say that. Sheffield United will probably.
It's not that. He's not
back
bad,
here
King,
for a post-match reaction. 5-0 loss to Sheffield.
I think he's got. I think King has got pace. I think he's got a desire, and he's on the ball. I say.
The idea of reviewing him at the end of the season is probably to see if we get into Europe, because we'll need a deeper squad.
I know, but he's not trusting him. I think there's a fitness issue. I think to me it looks like a fitness issue with him. He doesn't look fit. Let's try and go through the game chronologically. I'm cautious that, John, you've got to go very shortly. So the goal, Godfrey, great pass. It's someone actually stepping forward slightly and getting his head up and playing it in, and the movement from Calvert-Lewin. And there's only one winner there, isn't there, against the Snail for West Ham. And Calvert-Lewin doesn't normally score them. He normally skies them or blasts them at the keeper or hits them wide. And
this is why I thought he was going to hit it straight at the keeper. Yeah, I was very. Sorry about that. I was very happy to see that he scored. I thought it was a well worked goal, and it was something. It was just clean and neat. It was a well weighted pass. It was well timed, and we just slotted through their back line, and we pulled off a very nice goal. Again, we should have probably scored more, and I was worried about Calvert-Lewin's actual finishing, but he did well. So fair play to him.
We had other chances in the first half, but there seemed to me to be a bit of a lack of cutting edge in midfield. Alan obviously played very well. He got man of the match. He was everywhere and anywhere, and he did show a determination. It's something, a little bit extra on the ball that I thought we haven't seen from him yet. I think there's a lot more to come from Alan. And obviously, I just thought we could have done with a little bit more from Sigurdsson going forward. But whilst there wasn't a great cutting edge, we still found a way to create opportunities. We had a lot of set pieces. Do you think we should have done better with them, David?
I think we were okay off the set pieces. I think we were a bit unlucky. The ball falls in and it kind of bounced off one I can think of. That was a good opportunity. Bounces between Calvert-Lewin and Mina. We try. We just didn't come off. It doesn't always come off, does it? Set pieces. But we defended really well, set pieces. Which was important with West Ham's record off them, But ultimately today it was about getting that goal and seeing the game out somehow, and it's exactly what we did. And that was through aggression, it was through desire, and it was through.
I think our game management, well, towards the end was very strong. We shut them out. We weren't giving them opportunities. We got the ball back up into their half. And we kept the pressure on, which just meant that they were passing around the back, trying to find a way forward. They couldn't do it, and we shut the game out well. And usually it's the opposition doing that to Everton, and it's Everton that are passing around the back and not getting forward. Whereas today the roles had actually switched, and we were now controlling the game as opposed to them controlling us.
Exactly. It was like West Ham with the Everton playing at home. They had too many men forward. They didn't have any balance, so we were able to get opportunities through picking the ball up in midfield. They obviously missed Rice, didn't they? Who was injured.
I had him for lunch.
Souček was playing deep, but Souček's probably their best like attacker of the ball in the box. So he was like trying to be in two places at once. So there wasn't much balance in their side, and I think we had to take advantage, and we did. We took advantage of it today.
That's a good point. Rice was a big miss for West Ham. I think he's like Michael Keane in midfield, but with a little bit more.
He absorbs
it. He's a good little player, a good big player actually. Yeah. The second half, I think we were all saying at half time, let's not sit back and soak up the pressure. But I think the first 15 minutes, we let West Ham do a bit of dictating, and they had no answers to anything. And then there was a couple of injuries. It's about 60 minutes in, I think we made our first change. You're looking at it and you're thinking, please don't sit in. We're not going to last 30 minutes here. We're dropping and dropping. We dropped really deep at this point. And we were struggling to get out. In terms of what we were able to do with the ball, there was a lack of, as we touched on earlier, that third man coming in and supporting the two front men. Do you think we could have done better on the counter-attack? Do you think it was just a case of let's just soak up the pressure and try and get rid and try and play for scraps a little bit? Do you think we did the best we could, or do you want a bit more? What were your thoughts on our attacking play in that second half?
I think it's hard to say because we did have chances going forward throughout the whole game as well as the second half. But I think it would be nice to see a bit more going forward. Again, I think Sigurdsson, although he did play a good role, actually more in defence, but I think he needs to be there to send that ball forward or create chances and not just leave Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison to do all the work for themselves. So I think if we had a bit more going forward, and pushed, and again 1-0 can change in a second, and 1-0 can turn into 2-1 to them very easily, and 1-0 is not like a good enough. We've seen it before where we've been 2-0 up and we've like drawn or lost. So I think we should have pushed for another goal, but again we defended very well, shut them out. So although they kind of dominated early on in the second half, I think we were on top of it, and I actually felt confident that we could see the game out, which for the first time in a very long time.
The model away from home has always been to try and get that goal and, get one goal ahead. I don't think we've won many by 2 goals away from home. No. And, at home we have dropped off with a 1-goal lead and dropped points, but away I don't think we really have done that. So, we didn't really feel under pressure at all. But, moving forward, you might want to see a bit more because, how long is that going to last that we keep defending 1-0 leads? It's not going to last forever.
That's the evolution of the style of play that I think we have to do next season. We have to have better players for better.
It's in the tactics and the players, isn't it? You got Sigurdsson dropping off left mid, so for him to get up the pitch and support the other two with his legs, it's going to be difficult. I mean, if it was going to be anyone, it was going to be Coleman busting a gut.
He's cobbling it together, isn't he, Ancelotti? He's not got his best team. He's kind of just. He's trying to find a way to get the results. I think he knows deep down that this isn't a long-term solution. I don't want to use this to mask over some really bad results. We're on a run where we think we've won 2 in maybe 8 or 9 games, possibly longer. So I think it's important not to get too carried away with this. We've not suddenly become Man City or Prime Barcelona. I still think we are a very limited team. We have to play to our strengths, which is to battle, to sit in, to defend, to nick goals, set pieces. I think we've got to get James fit. I think the difference between maybe getting 9 points and, maybe 6 points or less, I think is going to come down to whether James is fit. So if you can get him fit, it's going to make a big difference moving forward.
What you've got to remember is that a season, like you see a run of form, and obviously on the table it shows you like the last 5 games and like how many you've won or lost. But form isn't it's not over a short amount of game. A whole season is 38 games, and if you want to be the best or to get Europe or Champions League, you need to prove that you are the best consistently. And again, I think Ancelotti is working out what works and what doesn't work for future seasons as well. Obviously, he's only just come in, so he needs to see what works and then where he can cover with the weaknesses in the transfer window. And it's like in a cup, like you're always going to have a hard game. You can have an easy run, but you've got to beat the best if you want to be there. So I think as you said, like obviously you're not masking the few poor results we've had, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So hopefully it continues that way. And again, we just need a big push these last games, and then hopefully by the time we get to City, again, maybe we only need 1 point, or they've already won and they put out a weaker team, and that's a really good chance for us to go and push. So it's going to be a very interesting close with a lot of important games ahead. Yeah, it should be a very good end.
A couple of things I want to note out just before I pass on to David to wrap things up. Coleman, you said before, obviously he's getting on, but outstanding today. He's kind of tactical knowledge that he showed. You said he was knowledgeable, covering 3 positions really: right side of midfield, right back at times, dropping into midfield. He was everywhere and anywhere, and he knew what he needed to do. And he got better as the game went on. He showed determination. So excellent from Seamus. Alan, obviously, I think we saw Alan back at his best. That we haven't seen in a while. Godfrey looking a lot more sure of himself. I don't think he was good in a couple of the recent games. Keane again looking really composed and strong in defence, and nothing coming past him or Mina the whole game. Dean, faultless really. I mean, there wasn't an awful lot going forward, and that midfield were rock solid. And I think for Everton moving forward, if this is to be a regular thing we do where we play like 5-3-2, which splits into a 4-4-2, got to get those centre forward. They've got to just practice counterattacks and 1v1s and beating players and trying to find a little bit more chemistry between them, because I didn't think there was an awful lot of link-up play between Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. I think we saw that actually, I think was under Marco Silva when he switched and played the 2, or was it Ferguson? The 2 strikers, we saw quite a lot of chemistry. I'd like to see moving forward more chemistry between them as a front pair, and more dynamism. But man for man, I think it's very difficult to criticize anyone. I think everyone was good. I'm giving my man of the match to Seamus. It was also nice to see that Pickford didn't have anything to do whatsoever, didn't have to make a save, and what he did do was really good handling. So really well played from Everton. And David, have you got anything else to add just before we close the video?
Your connection just cut out. I'll just say that this Villa game is massive. You know, we beat Villa, we're in the race, it's in our hands. We lose to Villa, we're going to be deflated, we're going to be off the pace, and we're going to struggle. So
it's going to go down to the Man City game, isn't it? We all know we're going to need a win at Man City to get maybe 5th or something. It'll be an all or nothing. Win at City, you get Europe. Lose, you're in into Toto Cup.
Spurs are playing Leicester on the final day.
There are some big games left in the season, which is like all or nothing, and this is why it's actually such an interesting season, because like even if Everton aren't playing, it's such an important result, which is why I've been watching so much more football recently. But it's great to see. It's enjoyable. Shame that the champions have already been written, but it's a great season.
John, it's funny you say that, because last week we were happy to end the season at the click of a button on a computer. End season now, and now
but that's why it's so different, because it can open up. If you look at the table, every single team above us pretty much lost, except Liverpool. Obviously, we played West Ham. We still have a game in hand on them. Leicester lost. Spurs lost. Shame Chelsea won against City. That would have been I love it. But more importantly, we won. So that's 3 points on every single team above us, basically. And it's huge.
We're competing with Spurs and
Liverpool, West Ham.
Yeah, it's Spurs, isn't it?
I think anyone could finish from 5th to 8th who are currently in those positions, but you don't know where anyone.
I'll tell you what I think here, John. I think you're right with who we're competing with. Also, David, do you think the top 4 is going to be City, United, I can't even remember, Chelsea and Leicester? Yeah, well, that's your top 4.
Leicester, let's not bank on Leicester. You know, they fell off last year and they look like they're creaking, but I think they might just get over the line there after what's happened.
Iheanacho is a joke of a. He's unreal, and just Leicester are quite consistent, I feel, as well as Chelsea. Good again, as Iheanacho. I would love Iheanacho, but I think City
turned up. He was shy.
City United. I think he's pretty decent.
He was only scoring against us once a year. That was that. That was his job.
But the thing is that you can be a terrific player and not get on the score sheet. It's also how you play and build up.
I know you're a top player, aren't you, John? And you're not on the score sheet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why I'm not in the team, to be honest. Just have 11 of me on the pitch.
I don't want to go too far off topic, but you're looking at fixtures and all that. I mean, Liverpool play Man U, but what? Man U are playing Leicester on Tuesday, and then Liverpool on Thursday.
For fuck's sake! It's a joke of a scheduling, but it's their own fault. It's their fans, so it's their own fault.
Send some more fans around.
When are Liverpool playing then? Are Liverpool getting 2 days?
No, they just play on Thursday.
So they've crammed in
They crammed it in 2 days after each other.
We had a week where we played about 4 games in a row.
This is crucial, isn't it? Now.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
Going back to like what we were saying, I think City, United, obviously they're top 2. Like that's not going to change. Then you've got Chelsea, Leicester. And again, they are quite far ahead from the pack. And obviously a few results go the right way and they could be back in it. But I don't see them dropping many points in the last 4 games. That leaves you with them as top 4. And then you've got West Ham, Liverpool, Spurs, Everton. And then anyone else below is Arsenal, Leeds, but they're all pretty much out of it. So I feel that it's going to be the same top 4 as those who are currently top 4. And then anyone currently in 5, 6, 7 or 8 could finish anywhere. And you just don't know. I feel like Spurs will probably miss out on everything and finish 8th because they're probably the least consistent out of all of them. And as you said, the most flaky. So I think it's going to be between Liverpool, Everton, and West Ham for the rest of the places for Europa League and the conference.
The 7th get Europe.
7th get Europa League qualification. The conference qualification.
No, don't want that. So I think it's going to be.
We'll either finish 7th or 8th. Personally, I
feel like
we're
West
trying
Ham
to both
drop off.
But West Ham, I see them picking up a win or 2, and I see that their goal difference is far and above us.
Not playing.
That's the difference. Around every other team, our goal difference is shocking compared to everyone else. People are on like plus 20 or plus whatever. We're on about plus 4. So I think again, we just
that sums us up. Though, really, we're not that good. And the thing is, we're not that good at all, and we could still get Europe. I think potentially it's going to be the red shite, unfortunately, in 5th. And I think then it will be. It's going to be Everton.
If you look at West Ham's fixtures, I've just pulled them up. It's Brighton away, it's West Brom away, and then Southampton at home. And to be honest, I back West Ham all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Meaning,
so they're going to finish 6th then.
But that means
we're finishing 7th.
We'd probably need a win against City. But it's all very close. Like it depends on the luck of the day, what happens. But what I do know is it's going to be a very exciting finish.
We need Moyes to do a Moyes. We need Everton to do a non-Everton and win at City. And for them to do us a favour. We need the Liverpool to continue what they've been doing, which is just be a scrumpy team, do a scrumpy against Southampton. They gifted Southampton should have got the equaliser. They had opportunities to. I do think though they'll do something and finish 5th. I think it is between us and West Ham for 6th. I don't think Spurs are going to get there. Although you can't write them off with the front 2 they've got. It's impossible to predict. I think if you said we're going to finish 6th now, I'd be ecstatic. I don't want the Conference League. I think that would just be an embarrassment for whoever qualifies. Just one quick comment here from Steve, who says that King should start and drop Richarlison. Steve, if you're still watching, I think you might be watching us on Facebook. Can you elaborate a little bit more why? Because I actually think Richarlison had one of his better games today than he has done, where he's often stunk the place out, apart from about 6 or 7 games on his mini run around the derby. So, yeah, I'm not sure I'd drop Richarlison, but I'd be tempted to start King. I definitely would.
I think I'd either start King in the Sheffield United game, or I'd just bring him on earlier in like the 75th or earlier minutes. Because again, he did look a bit tired and had only been on for a very short time. But I think when he does come on, he definitely has some ability to bring. And I think that's what you would call like a super sub. If you just give him the ball for like 5 minutes, he can actually work a great opportunity. So bring him on, have a super sub. But again, to start the game against a team like West Ham, it's a big game, I definitely wouldn't have started him.
This is a really good point, actually, John. Sorry to interrupt there. Because I do think you're right about King, but Steve says Richarlison makes a lot of wrong decisions. He's not wrong. I think Richarlison isn't the brightest player.
I think he needs
in
help.
a nice way. He's not very clever. He doesn't make good decisions. He's got so much ability and potential. I also don't think we play to his strengths. We need to cross the ball.
I would want Richarlison to be there to finish the ball. He's got strength and he has got pace and he can work his way around. But I would rather have Sigurdsson or Rodriguez sending the ball forward and giving it to Richarlison. Whereas recently, if we've been lacking forward or the creativity, then it's left to Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin to actually build up the play and finish. And obviously, then they've just got too many players back to be able to deal with that. Whereas if we have the creativity going forward, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin would be so much more available to finish off these attempts, and I feel like our goals would increase a lot.
We need another creative player who can run with the ball.
Yeah, we do. We lack that going forward.
I just think that is we missed. We've touched on it so many times, and just don't want to repeat ourselves. But yeah, I think we missed the third man, the third creative player with pace and could cross it and do something a little bit different. I think that's what we missed. I think when we get that, we'll get more out of Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin with the goals
in the next however many years.
I'm going to wrap things up here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The massive 3 points. You didn't think we would come in. I quietly was confident today, actually. I know we didn't do a preview, but I was quietly confident. I thought this is earmarked as a game that we might win, just in terms of Everton being Everton. And I think we're going to fluff it against Sheffield United and get bummed at Man City. And we'll all be sat going, why did you get our hopes up again for a load of nothing? Or
this is what you get when you support Everton. Stress upon stress, but excitement.
Qualify for the Conference League, John.
Yeah, great.
Which I know Mabsy, if he's probably watching, he'd be going, I want to go away to Europe, or Steve Blue, the two of them want to go away and watch Everton in Europe, but I don't want to watch Thursday nights in the Conference League. I think that would just be pathetic and an unwelcome distraction. Maybe for the under-23s, we'll send them there if we get there. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you're watching on Facebook, like the video, please. I know you're watching because I can see there's people watching, so you just click the like button for us. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, or you can like the video and comment. We do read the comments back. John and David, thanks for joining. I've already said enjoy the rest of your weekend, but doubly enjoy it because Everton have won. There's a like on Facebook. Thank you, Steve. See you on the next video. Yeah, I'm Ryan, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Up the toffees.